calling, guys? I'm Aaron Seaver. I'm one of the owners of American Villain Apparel and Tattoo. I'm in the studio with Maddie D with musicianstream.com and AmericanVillainApparel.com. What's going on, Matt?
How are you? Thank you for having me here today. Thank you.
Awesome for you to be here. Matt is the singer of a local band named Revival. So I'm going to have Matt give you a little background of the band and what they have going on in the upcoming events. And so I'll let you go for it.
We are a primarily based like a New York hardcore style, very old school based hardcore band, more punk based, bringing it back to like the 90s era, like Agnostic Front, or a little more 80s, but still going strong through the 90s, Madball, you know, that beat with some heavy riffs, boom. My wife and I, she's my guitar player, she had these great riffs she'd been working on for quite a while, and we just sat in my living room, and over the course of about 8 or 9 months we wrote the record together, which was fun, and we argued a lot, but I mean, I think that, you know, we got those 10 songs banged out. The record's done. Where is that record? Hey, Dan,
you got a copy? Dan, we got a copy of that record?
Sure do.
and
You can get this record at any of the Revival shows that are coming up.
that's why I don't play sports. It's a record. You can get this at facebook.com/Revival Hardcore. There's a link to our Bandcamp. We got a show tomorrow for the New York Cat Coalition in Syracuse.
Yeah, tell me about that. What is this? What is this coalition thing all about? What is it? Are proceeds going to like like some kind of organization?
Yeah, they're for it's like a shelter for cats. We are very like my wife and I, especially Gina, we're animal rescue based. We love doing stuff, animals for animal causes and things like that. And this was a cool opportunity for us to play a cool show with some great bands.
What other bands are playing on that tomorrow night?
Ego Destroyed is playing. Revelry from Buffalo, and Open Casket Division, and there's a couple others I'm forgetting. Apologies, but the show will be streamed tomorrow. You can, right where you're watching right now, you can go and see the show streamed tomorrow.
Yeah, you can see it tomorrow on musicianstream.com. Just click on the Big Apple, and it'll send you right to the link, and you'll be able to watch all the cool
Actually, it's
bands.
going to be on the American Villain
it will be
channel.
on the American Villain channel. That's even better. So
Cool.
you'll be able to watch it on our channel, and you'll get to see Maddie D and the rest of the crew, you know, rip it up out there. It's cool that you guys are doing that for cats, man. It's funny because my daughter, my 17-year-old daughter, she's got a cat, and the first thing I told her was, "Yo, get that cat fixed." And guess what?
You have to.
She didn't get it fixed,
Now
and
you
now I
have
have 5 kittens running around
Right.
my house, plus the 3 cats that we already have. So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to animal lovers, man, my wife and I are the same way. I mean,
Yep.
my wife is a huge cat fan,
Yeah.
so we have cats, and now I've got 8 of them running around my house right now. All 5 of them are taken, so when they're big enough to go,
Yeah.
I think they got about a week and a half left. But I know you guys have adopted pit bulls too, right?
Yeah, we have 2 rescue pits that are like our kids, basically. We're very involved in animal, like, you know, local shelters and stuff like that. We got them from Verona Street. We're very
Nice.
pro Verona Street, which is excellent. Shout out to those guys. We try to do anything we can to, you know, help out awareness of the breed. Anybody who has a pit bull knows, obviously, how vicious and horrible they are.
Yeah,
You
oh,
know?
yeah.
So we try to, you know, do benefits for shelters, things like that, get the word out, let people meet our dogs, like try to, we take them everywhere we go anyway, so,
That's
you
awesome.
know, if I had $1 for every time I convinced a scared old lady, you know, especially, you know, my wife and I are all tattooed, and then we have like big scary pit bulls, to change their tune after 15 minutes of petting the dog and realizing
Right.
that these dogs are fantastic. You know, you see in the news so much, you know, cop shoots pit bull that goes up
Yeah,
to say hello.
they get a bad rep, but you know, I have friends that have pit bulls and
Yeah.
all different breeds of pit bulls, and you know they come over our house and they're cool with my kids, and
Yeah.
we don't have no problem with them. I mean, it's all on how people portray them in the public's eye, because you only see the negative, you don't see the positive. You don't see what these dogs can do for, you know, other people.
Right.
It's like, you know, same thing back 20 years ago was Dobermans. Dobermans were the bad breed.
Yeah.
They were, you know, they turned on their owners, man. you know, my brother and I, we had Dobermans, you know, growing
Yeah,
up all
yeah.
our lives and never
Me
had
too. I had
one
Dobermans too.
even
Yeah.
nip at us. You know what I mean? And then you get like these little ankle biters, and that's all they do is.
I've been ferociously bit by small dogs.
Oh,
and
so
that's
have
it.
I. And it's like, yo, wow, and you get these big dogs, and it's just like, they're the coolest dogs in the world. But
Yeah.
you know, I wanna kind of get off topic a little bit. I want to go back old school.
Sure.
40-ounce failure.
Yep. Awesome.
I hear that you guys are doing a reunion show in August the 24th.
August 13th.
August 13th.
Yes.
At the Montage Music Hall.
Yeah, Montage,
With
yep.
Delusional Spell.
Yep. Also reuniting for one night. They haven't done anything in, geez, I want to say like same as us, like 11 years. This was 40-ounce failure was my first band I ever did, and basically my friend Corey signed me up. He's like, oh, Matt will sing for our band. No idea what I was doing. Still can't sing. But I think I got a little bit better of an idea.
Very entertaining though.
After 20 years, I got a little bit better of an idea. I never said I was a great singer. But we had so much fun, and then we kind of all went our separate ways, and then those guys, most of those guys went on to be in a band called Cry to the Blind and do big things, and then we're just kind of for the spirit of fun, we're just getting together and playing a show, and my personal take of that night is I'm giving it to Verona Street Animal Shelter, which you just talked
That's
about.
awesome.
So you know what I mean? This is just completely for fun. I want people
We
that.
should see if we could get Randy from the Montage to see if we can get them to bring one or two dogs in.
Oh, the noise! I'd be afraid of that. Like
Oh yeah, that's
some dogs
true. Yeah,
freak
that's true.
out.
They freak
Like
out from the noise.
mine
So I
don't
know,
like the
I know,
super
like
loud
a
noise.
couple things that I've done, with certain MCs and stuff like that. Like in summer parties, they have like the pit rescues, or they have different rescues come in and try to. But then again, the loud noise. But that would
Yeah.
be cool. But it's also cool that you're gonna, all the proceeds are going to that. So is it just
For me, I don't know about those guys.
Right.
Those guys might go buy a boat in Cleveland or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what those guys are
Well, at
doing.
least I know for you,
Yeah.
it'll be going to a good cause. So you guys, Delusional Spell. Is there anyone else?
I believe Unborn Society. I believe
Oh, okay,
playing
cool.
and House Majority.
Oh, nice.
But it's just it's a fun night. I say that for people that have been bitching for 10 plus years.
I'm one of them.
Well, you got to do one more show. Will you do one more show? And it was
Absolutely.
never the right time, and and everybody wasn't really getting along. But it's been really fun since we decided. Hell, we'll do it. We've had a message thread, a group message thread going where we're all just, as friends do, we're just shredding each other
Yep.
and having fun and having laughs and sending digital files of the songs because like most of us are like, geez, I don't even remember that. I don't even remember that song, let alone how it goes.
Right.
But it's just a fun time. It's kind of like a full circle life moment, because we never really had a farewell show.
Right.
We're gonna just put the nail in the coffin and say thanks a lot. See ya. It was fun to get up there one more time with those dudes. So that's August 13th at Montage. Revival's playing in Buffalo September 10th. We're Sick of It All,
Oh,
which
nice.
is easily top 5,
Where's
probably top
that-
2
where's that
favorite
show
bands
called?
of all time. That's at the Waiting Room.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
After Dark.
Yeah, After Dark, putting that on. So we're really excited for that show. And
You guys
other
got any
than
local things going on
that,
besides the 40 ounce?
no, nothing currently. I mean, we're booking right now, but we don't have anything current.
CD release party in the word.
Yeah, I know. We're
How did
Gotta
you
get
meet
out.
up with Lou?
this is cool. My buddy is a photographer, and years ago, he's like, because I do interviewing and things like that for bands, like freelancing. Years ago, he's like, do you want to come interview Sick of It All? And I'm like, of course, I would love to. So I interviewed them in Buffalo, and then we just ended up talking and hanging out and being buddies and catching up over the years here and there. And then I asked him to do a guest spot on a record, and we went to New York City, and he did it, and he killed it. And so, been, friends ever since, and I can't thank them enough for just putting their name out there and a little bit of help they've given us for sure. So it's very, very cool to see people. It's like a surreal moment to me in the studio because like I listened to Sick of It All on the bus with my Walkman, and like there it's like I'm looking through the glass at the booth, and like, there's the dude doing guest vocals on my record. I'm like, this is really weird.
Those big, huge gang vocals. Is that what he kind of?
No, he did his whole. He's in the whole second verse, and then the chorus too.
Gotcha.
And then the gang vocals were just the producer Jerry, who's an amazing guy
Yeah.
down at the studio in New
Those
York.
are
He
huge.
just bought his friend. Yeah, he just bought his friends, and he's like, hey, come on, and all these really nice guys that were just. That's the cool thing about music, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You've never met somebody in your whole life. You like this band, I also like this band. Boom, you're best friends. And you don't see that with like pop music or really any other form, but any form of heavier music, I don't care what genre staple you put on it, like, you know, you find somebody that likes the same heavy band as you do, probably because you're screwed up anyways and they're screwed up, so you kind of connect like on a deeper level, like, and you're like, you know that like you can probably sit and talk your ear off to that guy forever.
Oh yeah, you get that too when you're going to concerts and stuff like that. You run into so many people, and like my
Yeah.
wife will be like, "Who's that guy?" I'm like, "Just a friend of the scene." Or,
Yeah.
You know, we both like the same music, so we're at the same shows. You know, we say hi. We know, we don't
Yeah.
really know each other, but we're like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" You know.
My wife knows if we're on our way out of like a show and we're leaving and like, you know, headed towards the door, and I turn and I see like a guy with like a Sepultura shirt on, like an old Chaos AD shirt. She knows that I'm gonna stand and talk to that guy for the next 10 minutes. I'm like, oh,
And that's what
I
we
say,
do.
yeah, I don't know the dude at
That's
all.
the
but-
camaraderie in
Yeah.
you know in our music scene, and you know, and I went last night. I kind of ventured out of our scene, and I went and saw Mobb Deep at Water Street.
How was it? Yeah, I love
It
that
was
Hell on Earth
fantastic.
record. Yeah, I'm sure.
It was awesome. All the local hip hop acts killed it. Smith and Wesson was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Mobb Deep was great. Now you know, they did it on the club side. It was packed.
Not one
Hey.
problem.
Nah,
Good for
nothing,
Water Street.
Nothing,
That's the last they need right
nothing,
now.
nothing huge popped off to where you know they had to worry about anything. Everything, you know, might have had a couple disputes here and there, but whatever.
Right.
Nothing that you know got out of hand. You know, heavy police presence.
Cool.
You know, as you know, it should be. But yeah, I mean, all in all, it was great. I mean, and even there, it was cool. Like, cause they have one local group who I'm friends with a lot of them guys. They're called the Hex Nation. And it's seriously like the Wu-Tang Clan coming up on stage.
Oh, okay.
There's like 10 of them. And the family that you see there with those guys and what they do is what American Villain tries to do with, you know, in the metal scene, is try to make it a family. Not going there to try to start a fight, but going there to enjoy music and have fun and you know, and get out. And that's what, you know, we are pushing, and that's what they're pushing on their side. So if they can all come together, man, I think the Rochester music scene will be great, you know, especially with bands like Revival, you know, Million Miles, different types of genre that come together and jam.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Because when I met Revival, they were doing the Toys for Tots benefit.
Yeah, we do a lot, and my whole music career, whatever, I've always done so many, you know, benefits. Just stuff like, hey, you need my help for something, and we can, you know, raise some dollars for somebody in an accident or an animal shelter, anything like that. We're always down to throw down for that. I mean, always, and that's what it should be all about. I mean,
Yeah.
if you can do something to help out people,
absolutely, it's all about having that big heart, man. I mean, a lot of bands don't have that, and I'm glad that, you know, Man and Revival have that, because there's a lot of bands that just don't care. They just go up on stage, play, then they leave, and they don't really care. And it's cool that you guys have a cause, you know, like with the cat rescue and the pit bull rescues, and you know,
well, it comes with
the
age,
children.
too.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
children's Galisano's Children's Center. You know, we do a lot of stuff with them too.
yeah.
It's just getting people aware that, dude, what we do is, you know, for our, you know, it's for Rochester. It's not, we're not out to hurt people. We're out to, you know, we do the same thing. My wife and I, we've done stuff at soup kitchens and, you know, stuff like
Yeah.
that for, you know, for the homeless. And it's just, that's what we do to give back, because, you know, that's just, I'm not in a band. I can't express my, you know, words on stage, so I do it in other ways.
Yeah, I mean, that's I mean, the only way that we're gonna make a difference as a human race,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Because,
It's all about paying it forward.
you know, the political climate they don't, you know what I mean? It's full of people that don't care about you and I, so we have to take care of each other, you know what I mean?
So speaking of politics, who are you voting for?
I'm a Bernie guy. I'm a Bernie
Okay,
guy.
I can see that. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely. You know what I mean? There's goods and bads to everyone, but I mean, if you got three choices, right? You know, well, you got Ted. He doesn't even, you know, he doesn't even really count. Like, there's some dudes, you know, just aren't going to make it
Right.
to the forefront.
Yeah.
he's a little too religious leaning for me. That's scary. Trump, a joke. Hillary, a criminal. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, what do you got left? You got Bernie. You know what I mean? And I mean, I gotta say, maybe he doesn't have the answers, but he's trying.
Yeah.
He's like your nice old grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have a hamburger.
Yeah.
Put some cheese on it.
Yeah. He's trying. I give it. You know what I mean? Maybe he's gonna get in there. Maybe he's gonna fall right on his face. But at least I feel like he's gonna try because he's not, you know, a corporate shill.
He's really smart.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, anything's better than not getting out and getting involved. You know what I say shouldn't matter. If you're like, oh, he said Bernie, I don't F him and F his band. I'm a Hillary supporter. You know, if you feel that way, that's cool. Get out, whatever you do, get out and vote. Like if you feel differently than me, that's totally cool. Just vote. Still,
Yeah, not everyone's
care,
gonna agree. I mean, because you know, I'm not gonna say that I disagree and I agree. I'm not gonna say either one because I'm not gonna get involved in that. But you know, it's all on how the public is gonna review it. I hear a lot of people say they want Trump. I hear a lot of people say they want Hillary. Not too many people say they want Bernie, but you do.
I do. I mean, I understand why. I understand the no's. You know what I mean? But I just in moral conscience, I can't vote for.
It's like I totally watching our window.
That's amazing.
He's just watching our window. That's awesome. See, even at American Bill, we have people that watch our windows.
That's amazing.
Thanks a lot. We'll have to pay him later. So, you know,
Thanks, Obama.
I remember when I was out of the music scene a little bit, I heard that you dabbed in comedy a little bit.
Yep.
Anything going on with the comedy? No?
I mean, for me, it was an itch I had to scratch, and it was a lot of fun. And I got in. I wrote like a half an hour of jokes. I did really well. Like I opened up for some big people, like Jim Norton, and like last time Norton was in town, like came to my job. You know what I mean? And like so, it was some really cool stuff happened out of that. But it was just like that. It was an itch to scratch. It wasn't like. I didn't feel the need to pursue. It wasn't like, yes, I found this.
Right, I was like, okay, I wanted
It was cool. I did it. It was fun, and that's it. Like you know, who knows? Maybe it's like the 40-ounce thing. Maybe in 5 years I'll be like, I'm doing a comedy show here and there again.
That'd be fun because I've never seen it, and I think that'd be great.
Awesome.
Great to see it.
That's how it is. When you are out there doing your thing, people are like, oh yeah, maybe I gotta catch the next one. And then you're done. They're like, you gotta get back into it. I'm like, where were you for the solid 3 years I was doing it?
I was. My wife and I had a
Yeah.
kid, so I was kind of like in hiatus.
But that everybody in the band right now, you can relate to that. If you want people to start coming to your shows, break up for a year.
Yeah.
And then get back together, and then do a reunion show, and then everybody will be at your show.
A lot of bands do that too. They'll break up for a year
Yeah.
or two, and they come back. I mean, you know, Hate Machine did it, and every time they do it, they usually sell the place out. I mean, yeah.
All right,
like,
so the revival show tomorrow is a reunion show.
there you go.
In Syracuse.
It is a
It's
reunion show, so everybody needs to come
go.
out. Where is it in Syracuse?
It's at the Warehouse,
The Warehouse.
which is on Getty Street. It's like a cool DIY, which is great. It fits our genre, very like punk rock. So I expect the kids to go buck wild.
Is it a big club?
No, it's just like a small intimate venue. They got like a PA system and rowdiness. Like one of those like back in the day when you would turn on like when MTV used to have Headbangers Ball, and there'd be like a video of a band playing and like the crowd just looked like rabid. Like, you know, those great videos. And I think that's what one of those things
Old school mosh pits.
attracted me early on to like heavy music, because there wasn't, you know, when you're young, you know, you're 14, you don't have you're not going to shows, you know what I mean? So you see like your MTV and you see bands going ballistic on stage and things like that and you're like, that's awesome. You're like, I want to be part of that.
I remember watching Headbangers Ball with my brother Jed. You know, when we were kids, man, he'd be like, "Dude, you're a stand up and watch this with me," and I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." And, you know, usually I'd make a couple minutes into it, but he'd be like religiously like watching that show and just learning. And I guess that's what makes a true musician, is to know, you know, all the music and have, you know, insight on all of it regarding, you know, whatever it is, you know. And that's the only. I mean, that's the only way you're going to get out and you know, and you actually enjoy music. Cause
Just throwing it out there, that's what Musician Stream is kind of about, is hopefully connecting with Cleveland and Denver and finding out what their local scene is about, because I would love to peek in on what's going on
Yeah.
in Baltimore for a weekend.
Right, see what's,
Yeah.
see what's going on, see what kind of music they have.
Baltimore
and-
has great bands like Trapped Under Ice, and you see Cleveland and bands like Ringworm and stuff like that. Just I know in like the hardcore scene, but there's a war like here. You know what I mean? There's every walk of life of musicians and music. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things about going to play other places. You play with other bands, and that you would have never heard of, and you're like, these guys are fucking amazing. And there's no way you would have ever heard of that band in your life.
Well, that's what musicianstream.com is trying to do, is trying to get us out, out of Rochester into different locations, so we can stream this music and bring it back to us and bring it back to other people. So, like you said, you might go to a show, you have no idea who these bands are. You're like, I'm going to play with these bands, and you get there and you're just like, wow, dude, these guys are amazing.
Yeah.
They're just like us of the Syracuse scene or the Buffalo scene or the Albany
Yeah.
scene or New York City or like Baltimore, Cleveland, wherever you're going. And that's what musicianstream.com is trying to do, is try to and to get bands from Rochester into those markets too, so we can communicate and network and try to get you guys to Ohio or to New York City to play in front of a few thousand people for Madball or Vision of Disorder, which I know you guys played.
We were supposed to play with
Supposed
them.
to play that. You guys didn't play that show at Montage Rare, did you?
No, we did play the
You
Montage
did play
show.
Montage.
We were supposed to play with them next month in Buffalo, but they canceled the date.
Oh. I was about to say, 'cause I remember you got up on stage with Vision of Disorder and sang a
love
song,
those
if I remember
bands.
right.
Yeah, those are another band that I grew up listening to, and just over the years, just what's cool about the music scene, you just start to, you know what I mean? You just get to hang out with people, and get to know them, and phenomenal band.
Now you said Jim Norton came to your work. He went to the factory you work at, or the you work at some.
Yeah.
I work at an
work at
adult
Walmart, or-
entertainment facility.
Oh,
yes.
here we go.
Oh.
Now this will get interesting.
Yeah, no,
Okay, all right then.
So yeah, with Norton, I mean if you know Norton,
He's a nice guy to come
He's
to
a
your
great
work.
guy. He's a great guy, and that's that's his style. So, but I mean, he's hilarious, very nice, off camera, so to speak. He's still the same guy, which is great. I've met a lot of comedians and musicians too. Unfortunately, when the cameras go off, so to speak, it's all like a front. You know what I mean? Just be yourself. That's my favorite thing about playing and working at Montage. I'm sure you've seen plenty of people that are the coolest guys because they, as soon as they're done playing, they hang out afterwards, or when they're sound checking and the band loads in, they're just hanging out and being regular.
Yeah, I can't stand it when I go to walk into a venue and they're like, "Oh, you can't go in yet. The band's sound checking." Oh, dude, we're just I work here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you gotta let me in.
Yeah.
Or the same thing, a band will get done off a stage, right onto their tour bus and they're off to the next location. They'll stay out and hang with the fans, and I like how like the Montage and Water Street and them actually do that, where the bands actually come out after the show, hang out with you, and you get. I've met so many of my idols from when I was a kid in bands that are now coming back around, maybe with different bands, but I get to meet them.
Yeah.
Like one of my biggest idols was Rex Brown from Pantera, and I got the privilege to sit at the end of the bar at the Montage for like an hour and shoot the breeze with him, talk about Dimebag, talk about just random stuff, and it was the coolest thing because I've always loved that guy. He was awesome in Pantera, and for the fact for him to be able to sit next to me and have a conversation with him, dude, that was like a dream
And
come
be
true.
legit, yeah.
And he was like completely cool, except I had to yell at him a few times because he kept smoking on stage, and we're not allowed to smoke in the club, and I'd be like, "Yo, Rex, you can't do that." He's just like he'd throw it on the stage, and then he'd light up another one.
I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot. But same thing with Jeff Tate from Queensrÿche when we got to meet them. I mean, he was I think he was the nicest person I've ever met as a musician.
But did he have the eyes of a stranger?
Yeah, a little weird. It was funny because I actually met him when I walked into the club. I heard someone singing in the bathroom. So I walked in the bathroom and there's Jeff Tate sitting on the john, singing. And I walked in and I was like, are you all right? And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, the acoustics in here are amazing. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, who is it? Because I couldn't tell who it was. He's in the stall.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's this guy doing? So I stood there and I waited, and sure enough, a couple minutes later he comes out, and it was Jeff Tate. And I was just like, dude, you know, we have a green room where you can, you know, hang out. And he's like, oh no, the acoustics in here are amazing.
What
And I
was he
was
singing?
just random stuff. He was just, you know, just getting his voice.
It would have been
voice
so
ready. It was so funny.
Silent lucidity, like
Yeah.
interrupted by splashes.
Queen of the
No,
Right.
no, that's the funny thing. He wasn't going to the bathroom. He was just sitting there. Wasn't going to the bathroom. He was just sitting there. And he had the door closed, and it made it look like he was going, but he wasn't really.
That dude's got an amazing voice.
Yeah,
I
he
can't.
never
I mean, I
flushed-
can't.
yeah.
I can't take anything away from that guy.
He kills it at the montage, man. And then afterwards, man, he was there like 2 hours afterwards. You know, meeting everybody, doing photos. But you get a lot of bands who just, you know, come in right before their set, play on their tour bus, they're gone. You don't see them, and that's I don't like that as you know. Coming to a show and paying all that money.
Jeff Tate's.
I want a little
actually-
bit of a meet and greet, or you know, I'm not paying $50 for a meet and greet.
Jeff Tate's still living in the bathroom at the montage.
Yeah, I think he's still there. Yeah, every now and again we'll hear him in there.
Eyes of a stranger.
Then you hear the flush.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We're actually doing a segment this week, actually starting this week, where we're going to promote one of our own shirts through American Villain for you at musicianstream.com/American Villain. You can check it out if you're watching the show. You want to grab that, Matt? Yep. Our first shirt is Live Life, Villain Life. It's a great tee. Jed designed this one. We sell them here on at the shop and online, all sizes. It's got a nice little thing on the back. It says, like it or not, we are contenders. Like it or not, we are built for longevity. Like it or not, we are here to stay. We weather the storm. We stick together. We are survivors. We send fear through fashion. We have no fucks given. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I did.
I love that you asked for permission afterwards.
Yeah, these shirts are all online.
Can I
$20
fucking
a
say that
piece.
fucking word? Is that fucking okay?
This is fucking rad. But you can check these shirts out online at AmericanVillainApparel.com. You can also check out this live feed at musicianstream.com/AmericanVillain. I think this is going to wrap up our interview with Matty D with Revival.
Well, real quick, does Revival have a website?
Oh, yeah.
Just Facebook.com/Revival Hardcore, and then there's a link to the Bandcamp where you can get the CD, and then it features my dog listening to a boombox.
Nice.
And how much are those CDs?
They're $5.
$5.
7 to ship.
You can't beat
anywhere
that,
in
man.
the world. 7 to ship anywhere in the world. So.
You can't beat that for $5, man. Some great local music. Get it out. Let
Now,
people hear
the
it.
Cat Coalition, is there a website for that?
I believe there's a link to it off of if you go to our Facebook, the event invite,
Okay.
and then there's more information about the Cat Coalition. They're looking for donations if you're coming out to the Syracuse show tomorrow. You know, standard things like litter boxes, and I'm sure they could always use litter and cat food and stuff like that.
Yeah, so if you got extra cat supplies, or if you got you come into the show.
Can't donate your cats though.
Yeah, if you're coming to the show, man, stop at Tops or Wegmans and buy a couple cans of cat food or a bag, man. It's not that much. It's for a great cause. Keeps these animals alive, and hopefully we can find them homes.
I lived off cat food in the 70s.
Yeah, there you go. I think you lived off of dog food too.
Yeah.
But I think that's all we have for today. Like I said, I'm Aaron with American Villain Apparel and Tattoo. It's Matty D from Revival. We are at musicianstream.com/American Villain.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for coming in, and that's a wrap.
See you next